Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about how I go about organizing my world building. Specifically, I'm going to go into the nitty gritty of how I build my website to hold all of my world building. I specifically was asked on the Discord how I prefer to organize my world building and whether or not I like to use a website. And the answer is that yes, I do in fact like to use my website as a place to gather my world building. And there's a lot of reasons why I like to use a website. First and foremost, let's just get into what I have going on here. So with my website, this is the Scourge of 9 Point. I like to use it because I can eventually refine all of the world building that I do have and make it public so that people can read through it. I have like a little table of contents. I like that it's mixed media. I think that's one of my major draws towards using like HTML, CSS, whatever. But it is actually a lot easier than that if you don't know about it. I like it because you can organize things really well. You can have little pull-out things. I just organized it like a Wikipedia article. We have like Feathercatcher here, and there's a little X. But yeah, I like organizing my world building in like easily accessible things like this. It's even more apparent in like my Wildlander section here, where I made a big sorting thing, so like we can get into like each of like the little aspects of each little dude. This is like a breakdown of all the different animals. I have this height chart that I created. This is what I mean by multimedia. Is I created a height chart, which is actually very helpful when creating characters, because like this is a good reference for people to use, but it's a great reference for me and Ursula for like designing characters. So we could be like, oh, we have a wolf character, and then we use like, I think we have like cats. Yeah, we have a cat character, and then this gives us like the range of heights that they can be in. Like obviously this is complicated Python script nonsense, but it is very helpful because like it can be like, oh, I want a bat. So the bats can be within this height range. And then it just helps with character design because I can just take a screenshot of this, show it to Ursula, and then I'll be good. I've been slowly working at like all of these like little cards because I want to add little pictures to them. That's why this is a work in progress. But it doesn't have to be this in depth, right? Like if you want to create a website that is more similar to like this is just like easily done. You can do that right from whatever site, whether it's WordPress or Comic Fury. I'm sure a lot of you use Comic Fury because it's very simple to use as a comic creator. I like to just combine like this Wikipedia stuff that is just for me, further than just like the stuff that I do publish like for everyone to read. Like I also have like secret things that I work on in the background that I just don't have on my main page. Like you could find this, but it's not that helpful. Basically what this is because 9 Point is done over a long period of time. I have actually, I don't know if this is working or not. No, I think this is working. This is definitely working because these are two young characters. Yeah. So basically I did a breakdown of like how heights change over age based on different species. And then I inputted them into like graphs so that I can compare characters at different ages, because 9 Point is a comic that is going to be over multiple years. So I want to know the height differences of characters so we can see them over the entire course of the comic, like what size people will be at. Because it's useful here, like with Dew and Mitzi, where like there's like a time where like one becomes taller than the other, kind of thing. These ones are pretty steady because they're the same age. This is just like, I like charts. If you can't tell, charts are like a major part of like my world building process. Charts can be made pretty easily in just like Google Sheets or whatever Sheets program. I use Sheets all the time to like organize things. But recently I've just been compiling everything onto my website so that it's all together. And I don't lose it all. I think that's the most important part about having a website to me, is that I don't lose everything. It ends up like staying together. So when it comes to actually making your website, like an easy way to make a website, right, is going on Comic Fury. So if you're making any story, Comic Fury is a pretty easy place to set up a Wikipedia style document. So I've been working on the Crow story document. I've been transferring over from using just nested folders on my desktop because I have since lost my desktop computer, so I lost a lot of files. So having it on a website is another good thing because it's all backed up. It's good to keep a backup of your website as well. But basically what you would do if you wanted to do that is you would add a website page. So you go to add website page, and then you are given this beautiful website page, which you can put whatever you want on it. So you type your lore info, paragraphs, some lorem ipsum, and you would just format it so that one is a heading. You title it, so we could call this lore. You give it a page, URL code, and then page order is how it is navigated on like your navigation page. So what I tend to do is, if it's like lore that is like my own, I just hide it from the navigation menu. Embedding the page layout, so this would transfer over all of like the styling you have on your website page to this. A lot of the times I will copy it over, sometimes I don't. It just depends on what kind of page I'm building. And then you just hit submit, and then you can view the website page. And there we go, we have lore. This is the title. That was like the title you inputted there. This is like the subheading, and that's all that. And then I usually would just edit web pages. So if I go in here, I have magic going on. And so what I do is I tend to just highlight something, and I will create interspersing links to things. And then it creates a more Wikipedia style thing. If you don't like how things look, then because it's importing everything from the original website, you have to edit the website layout. So that's all in here. So if you are using a prefabbed website, you'll have all of this HTML stuff to go after. You can also make a simple layout, so that one will have like a default look. You can pick all the different like settings you want for it, what you generally want it to look like. It's pretty easy. It works really well. I don't really use it. I just use HTML and CSS. So everything that's like in here, this overall layout, is going to be what your Wikipedia pages are nested within. That's why this has this little section up here. It has like the Crow story, has the archive links and all those things. That's all like laid out in here. If you want to change how things look, it's done in the CSS layout. So the you can think of like this as like the structure of your web page, whereas this part is all of your dressings or whatever. I haven't opened this up in forever, but you can see like H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. That's all of the font family, font weight. That would be the headers. That's why they're all the same font, all the same size. And you can like separate them out in order to change them. Or you can like get someone to help you with all of that. I'm getting in the weeds anyways, because like Ursula will go through and show you eventually how to build your website and make it look pretty. But basically, if you organize everything in the headings that you want, then you'll be able to dress them up later. So you want to make sure that you have a scheme for like understanding like what, because this is like a title. This is the heading 1. That's like heading 2, heading 2, heading 2. Like eventually I can style these and make them look good. I can add pictures. I can like see like these ones. I don't like how it looks, but I think this is like H4, heading 4 probably. But it's more important that I have it denoted correctly than have it looking great at this minute. But this is how like I like to set things up, because I eventually will have all of these click out and link to other parts of my story. When my world building gets really big and sprawling, that's kind of just the way that I like it to be. There's other sites I think where you can make more like protected lore places or whatever, but like I don't care hugely about that. I just leave it unlisted and I don't really put spoiler stuff onto the website. It's just especially for world building, like this is just how I like to organize it, because most of it isn't spoiler type stuff, and most of it is stuff that I eventually want to add to like a public facing link, but for now it's just kind of hidden behind. And as you can tell with Crow's story, I don't even have my comic. It is just entirely my wiki section here. So like I have this is like one page, and then it links to like the main topics, and eventually they'll all link out to other things, and then I'll be able to flesh out all of my Crow story lore into one place. And that's just how I like to do it. So I hope that was helpful at all. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, leave them down below, or go onto the Discord. It's lovely on the Discord, and I'm sure people can help you out there. All right, goodbye.